Hey guys, and happy Tuesday. So for today's video, it is part of a collaboration that I'm actually hosting or co-hosting with Leah over at Junkernecker. And I've been excited. I've been waiting for this, and here it is. So it is a trash to treasure tier tray challenge. And I am going to be doing two tier trays today. There's going to be a single layer one and a double layer one. And the first one is this single layer one, and it's actually, excuse me, going to be made out of this piece of wood that I got off of Facebook Marketplace some time ago. This couple was getting rid of a bunch of wood from redoing their, what were they redoing? They were redoing their motorhome, and they just had all this like scrap wood, and I like the shape of this one. I mean, there was a bunch of it. It filled up the back of our van, like the floor of our van. And it just had tons of different pieces, different sizes, all kinds of shapes and cutouts and stuff. And I saw this one and knew that I had to keep it to do something with. And today seemed like the perfect day to use it. So I just sanded it down and I cleaned it up with my little desktop vacuum. And I'll put a link in the description box for the one that I use. And so I just cleaned all the sanding residue off, and I painted it with this paint that I got. It's Oops paint that I got at like Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. And I think I've told you guys before, I always look at that Oops paint and, always grab there. I think this was like $2.50, and I love the color. It matches our decor. And I just love the color. It's subtle, but just enough, of a little pop there. And so I just painted this whole thing. I had to give it, I gave it 2 coats of this paint, and one would have been enough, but there were just a few spots that needed a little bit more. So I just went ahead and gave it 2 coats. And then I just painted that, and I love the shape of it. And I think there was like 2 or 3 pieces like this, so I'll probably be using the other pieces for something else. But I went ahead and painted this, gave it 2 coats, and once it was dry, I used these wooden napkin rings. And every time I see napkin rings at the thrift store or garage sale or anything like that, especially wooden ones, I grab them. And so I'm using these 4 napkin rings. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. So I'm gonna put this to the side, and I'm gonna work on my second tier tray. Now for the second tier tray, I'm going to use 2 pans from the Dollar Tree, like the stovetop covers. That's what I'm gonna use. And I've used them for a previous DIY. I was going to throw them away because the smaller one was all dented up, and because when I used it for my other DIY, it kind of bent up a little bit. But thanks to Angela over at the Environmental Center, and for those of you that are in Northwest Indiana and, you're teachers or crafters or whatever, she gave me or found this cork mat for me, and I thought it'd be perfect to reinforce this pan. The Environmental Education Center is awesome. Angela is awesome. And she's always finding me great things to craft with. I'll be sure to link their channel in the description box too. But yeah, I'm always finding stuff there. I've been going there for years. So because I was using that cork mat on the top one, I decided to use one of those sticky cork sheets from the Dollar Tree that I got a while back. And I cut it into a circle to fit onto the bottom tier, and I just stuck that on there. Now, I'm excited for today's video because it's not only because it's the first time that I'm co-hosting an open collaboration, but I'm excited to be doing it with Leah over at Junkernecker. I will put her channel in the description box also, along with the playlist. But I was so excited when she agreed to, host with me. She has an awesome channel. She's so creative, so talented. So you definitely want to check out her channel. and see the stuff that she's come up with, and then check out the playlist because I'm sure all the ladies are going to come up with some awesome tier trays. And so yeah, I just went ahead and I stuck the cork sheet on there to kind of match a little bit. They don't match completely, but once you put it together and you put the stuff on there, it looks amazing. I thought it looked so cute. So I went ahead and I stuck that on there, and then for the oh, and I did hot glue the cork mat on there. I did have to kind of cut just a little bit off of it so it could fit perfectly, but it was barely, it was just like the edges. I got this candlestick at one of my local little resale shops a while ago, and it was like a set of 3, and they were 3 different sizes, and this was the biggest one, and that's gonna be my stand for the tier tray. And I'm not gonna paint it or anything because it's already black, and the tier tray has like the enamel look on it, so I thought it fit perfectly. So I just went ahead and hot glued this cork mat on there. My glue gun wasn't, I forgot to plug my glue gun in, so I had to to wait for the hot glue to get hot. So I had to clean that off. But yeah, so I just glued that on there, and I didn't paint it anymore or anything. It was perfect the way that it was. So I just went ahead and glued that on there, and used the candlestick as the stand in the middle. And again, these covers are quite flimsy, so the cork mat is perfect because it gives it a little bit more sturdiness and stability. And so I think my hot glue is finally hot, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue the cork mat onto the top tier, and then I'm going to glue the candlestick onto the bottom one. And I wasn't sure if the candlestick, I didn't think about it, or else I would have cut a hole in the cork, made a little cut in the middle of the bottom cork, but it actually stuck fine, so I don't have to worry about that. And as you can see, I used this for another project, and I was actually, like I said, I was going to throw it away. This is when I realized I probably should have cut the circle in the middle, but it was too late and I didn't want to, it was glued in there already. So I just said, you know what, it should stay. And it did, no problem. It's holding everything up, fine. And so went ahead and I glued that on there, and then I glued the top tier on there, and that was it for that one. I put that to the side and then started working on my other one. And I love this little candlestick. I thought it was so cute, and I knew when I saw it that, I was going to use it for something like this, like automatically. I knew what I was going to be using it for. I just didn't know when. And then this collaboration came up, so it was perfect. And, of course, the other piece that I'm using, I've had those pieces of scrap wood for, probably over a year, because I think it was sometime last summer that he picked all that stuff up for me. So I've had it, and I've been working off of it using, different pieces. And when I tell you, it was so much wood. It was just so much wood. I feel like I'm never going to make it through the stack. Like, there's so much of it and sitting in my garage, and I just go and grab pieces from it here and there. So when I tell you, I had this sitting there, that's probably the pile that I'm grabbing it from, because there's so much of it. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to work on the one tier tray. And so it's nice and dry now. And again, I'm just going to use these napkin rings that I got at who knows which thrift store, one of my local thrift stores or a garage sale. Like I said, I grab them whenever I see them because they're perfect for stuff like this. And they can add the little extra touch that you need, a little bit of height to stuff, so they work out perfectly. And I like the wood ones, because they're wood, and I didn't have to sand these down. I didn't paint them or anything because I like the wood color on them. And I think I've told you before, I don't really like painting over natural wood stuff, like things that are already stained or natural woods. But occasionally I will. So I went ahead and just tried to measure out where they were going to go, and they stuck on there. But so I just went ahead and hot glued them on there, And that was it for this one. And I was going to use my sander when I was sanding it, like my electric sander, because then I could have gotten a little corner piece over there, but it doesn't bother me too much. And here's what they look like. So until the next time, be the reason someone smiles. Bye, guys.